Welcome back, Patrick Davey, joining us on the show from WorkSafeBC on this Thursday afternoon. It's great to have you back.
Hey, thank you.
Yes, we have a topic today that is very timely, especially on the heels of last summer when it was very hard to leave the house during the wildfires because that smoke was so thick and bad for your health. We all knew it and we tried to avoid it, but this is something that a lot of people are having to face if we have wildfires again this year.
And you know, you look at the year right now, and we're in a cold spell right now, but if you live between Kamloops and Williams Lake, you're in wildfire central, and we're only in the first week of summer. So most of the people you know last year experienced adverse effects from the fires, from evacuations to losing homes to exposure to excessive smoke.
Yes.
So today I thought I'd talk a little bit about the about what we can do to recognize the hazard of the wildfire smoke and to put some controls in place.
Which is an excellent idea. We'll throw to the footage now since it seems like a good time to do so. Amongst those breathing in the fire and the smoke, more the smoke than the fire, of course, the firefighters themselves, of course, they're on the front lines responding. We're hoping to not see this again this year. You know, we saw it in May. It got a little scary. It's been wet lately. It doesn't take long for it to dry. We could be breathing this sort of thing in again. What kind of measures should be in place? Well,
first of all, the smoke, the components can vary depending on what's burning and depending on where the smoke's coming from. Is it coming from California or is it burning over in Bachelor Heights?
Sure.
Now, the smoke itself can have many different things in it: carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. It could have hundreds of different chemicals in it, and it could have adverse health effects. Last summer, everybody probably recognized that we had irritation to the eyes, nose, throat, and headaches. And if you're exposed to that type of smoke for a short period, as soon as the smoke goes, it's gone. For people with extenuating circumstances, they've got asthma, they've got heart disease, they're pregnant, they could experience greater symptoms such as coughing, wheezing, tightness of chest. And also in wildfire, there are other issues to look at too: excessive heat exhaustion, and heat stress.
So what should employers be doing to protect the workers? What can you do if it's in the air? I mean, you're kind of limited.
Yeah, so again, we look at it as it came in last year. Is it something light that comes from California where we can smell it? Or is it something that is so heavy we can't see the mountain across the way? For us that live here and we're working inside, closing the window or the door isn't a good option. So for people that are working inside, what we can do is really, most of the buildings we have HVAC units on the roof. That's the heating, ventilation, air conditioning. We need to look at their filters, check them more often, change them. Keep the windows closed. Also, you may want to have an air cleaning device, a small one there. For people driving in smoking conditions, keep the vents, windows closed. If you have a recirculation function on your air conditioning, use it. Don't be sucking air in from the outside. And really looking at, if you're working outside and you can't help but work outside, look at reducing your physical exertion, because as more exertion happens, we can breathe up to 20 times as much as normal. But mainly what we're looking at is trying to avoid the smoke. Can we move our workplace? Can we change shifts to work a little later?
The telltale sign for me, certainly last year with the wildfire smoke, was in my house. I changed my filter twice as often last summer, but the buildup on my fans, like the dirt on the fans, I was shocked at what came off by September of last year. And so that's really telltale to the fact that in some ways you really can't avoid it. You know, you can get the extra filters and do the little extra things, but it's not easy.
Yeah, I think it's important to be prepared. Listen to the advisories every day.
Absolutely.
And schedule your work accordingly, if possible. Again, can you move your work out of the smoke? Maybe not. Can you schedule it for another time? It's really about avoidance to the smoke.
Anything else you would like to add today on this topic?
Absolutely, because we are in wildfire season, and we haven't even got into July. We have a couple of documents that the board has, WorkSafe has on its website. One of them talks about frequently asked questions about wildfire smoke, good stuff. But the other one talks about wildfire evacuation planning. In the area where we live, we look at the amount of evacuations we had last year. We should be planning for evacuations. And really, one of the checklists here talks about a number of things. How do you identify the risk of wildfire to you? When is it time to go? Do you have an evacuation plan? Do you have ability to account for all your workers? So there's lots of great things that people can use to help them prepare for wildfires. And of course, in Kamloops, we inspect wildfires all the time. Give us a ring if you have any questions.
Okay, fantastic. Speaking of that, I know here at CFJC at Broadcast Centre, we have implemented an evacuation plan that would go into place should there be a wildfire that gets close. I think it's something every company should be doing because after last year, we don't want it to happen again, but should it happen, we want to be prepared.
And one last plug, and this is for the BC Wildfire Service. I've dealt with them for the past 20 years. They're amazing. They are ready to go when it gets hot, so good on them.
I think we saw that at Lac du Bois not too long ago.
They're on it.
Very impressive. Right? Very impressive what they did to save homes there. So, Patrick, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
If you'd like to learn more about this topic, if you're an employer looking to ensure that you have an evacuation plan in place for your employees, WorkSafeBC.com. We're back after a quick break. Stay with us.